Hello there, how are you doing today? Please take a seat. And you must be Bart, is that right? Excellent, it's a pleasure to meet you, Bart. That's Bart Simpson, yes? Okay, brilliant. So, how are we doing today, Bart? You just look like you've been doing a bit of running or something. You're running away from the police. Oh, I see. What was that about? Oh, you used your slingshot to fire a stone at your principal and it broke the window. Oh dear. Why did you do that, Bart? What drove you to do that? You thought it would be enjoyable. Okay. And was that enjoyable? You did find that enjoyable, okay. Interesting. Well, we've jumped right in there, haven't we, Bart? Listen, let's talk a little bit about your family, okay, and a little bit about your family life. Okay, now I understand your mother was telling me that you have your father, Homer Simpson, is that correct? Your mother, Marge, and you have two sisters, Lisa and Maggie, who's a baby. Lisa's 2 years younger than you, is that right? Okay, so I'm going to start off, Bart. I want you to tell me, how is your relationship with your father, Homer? What would you describe your relationship? What's that like? It's okay. Okay. And did your father show you much affection? He strangles you sometimes. Sorry? He strangles you? Literally? Oh, I see. And why does he do this? Usually when you've been naughty, okay. Does he say anything to you during or after? He says, "Why, you little," over and over again, whilst he's strangling you. I see. Tell me, Bart, how does this interaction with your father make you feel? You don't really feel anything, just you are expecting it because you're naughty quite a lot. Okay. Has your mother ever intervened? She usually just says, "Oh, homie," and watches. Okay. What about your sister? Does she do anything when this happens? She just watches as well. Sometimes she doesn't even watch. Does it last for very long? But not too long. Okay, and then you carry on. What do you do after that? You go and be naughty somewhere else where he can't see you. Okay. So, what you're saying is, Bart, is that you've become used to this kind of interaction with your father, and it no longer threatens you or makes you feel worried. Okay. And do you think that it is affecting whether or not you conduct yourself in a better way? What I mean is, does it affect you? Does it stop you from being naughty again? It doesn't. So this has no effect on you. None at all. Okay, interesting. Right. What's your relationship with your mother like? You get on, you're very close to your mother. Okay. And your mother is very affectionate to you. Yes, that's good. That's nice, isn't it? And does she put you to bed at night? She does. Okay. Was that so? Your father can be affectionate, just not as much. Okay. And you think your father does care about you? He does. Okay. If you're ever in trouble, he'll go out of his way to protect you and to save you. Well, that's good. Perhaps your father is struggling with expressing himself. And perhaps he has a method of dealing discipline out which is seen now as something that was much more prevalent in the past, but is not as accepted today. I mean, strangulation is extreme anyway. In the past, often fathers would use perhaps a slipper or something like that, but I'm not here to judge, but I just am obviously concerned about your well-being. Okay. You don't feel that it's a threat to your safety? Well, that's good. That's good. And does your father drink alcohol at all? He does. Does he drink a lot? Does he? He does drink a lot. I see. Do these acts of strangulation take part when your father has been drinking? It just doesn't really matter, he'll do it anyway. I see. Do you feel that you are responsible for this aggressive behaviour at all? Kind of, because you're naughty so much. Well, there are other ways of dealing with it, but despite the fact that you're naughty, it's actually no excuse. But as I say, I don't judge. So your relationship with your mother is very close, very affectionate. Well, that's good. That's very healthy. It's very healthy, but now you have a sister called Lisa. Is that correct? She is 2 years younger. What's your relationship with your sister like? You find that she sometimes irritates you because she's so smart, and this can make you feel insecure. Well, that's understandable. A lot of boys can feel threatened by girls who can do things better than them. And that's because they're often raised with a unhealthy belief that boys can often do things better than girls, which is really not the case. It's a bit of an old myth. So young boys, particularly with sisters that are younger than them, can feel threatened. And that's added to by the fact that your sister is also younger than you. Okay. So, do you think that sometimes your bad behaviour is a result of this insecurity and this frustration coming out of you? You do? Okay. Well, that's a good step, Bart, isn't it? That's a good realisation there. Yeah, that's something that we can then look at as a way of addressing that to see if we can address your negative behaviour. Do you feel protective over your sister Lisa? You do. Okay, so you love her. Good, that's good. And do you feel that your parents' affection is evenly distributed between the three of you? You do, but you feel that Lisa gets more praise. Is that because of her grades being better? Okay, but do you think that's also because her behaviour is better as well? Okay. See, I think that Lisa doesn't feel threatened by you, so therefore she doesn't need to outlet her behaviour in an aggressive way. Her insecurities are, undoubtedly there are insecurities, as there are with all people. All people have insecurities, but particularly when we're younger, it can be very hard adjusting. And young girls are no exception, obviously. There's many things that they see in the world that can make them feel insecure about themselves. But I feel that she doesn't feel threatened within the family structure. And that's probably to do with the fact that she is so intelligent. I think that if you find that you start to behave more, you will start a positive cycle, okay? And you'll start to receive more praise from your parents. Even if your grades are still as they are, I think you'll start to see that your parents notice your better behaviour, and they'll start to encourage you and praise you for it, which will help to build up your self-esteem. Now, certain things you can do, okay, rather than just not misbehaving, which could go unnoticed a little bit. You could offer to help around the house, take out the rubbish, the trash, and clean the car, for example, mow the lawn. And this is the sort of thing that your parents will really appreciate, and they will notice the effort that you're making, and they will give you praise in turn. I understand that your your sister Maggie is just a baby, is that right? And how do you feel about Maggie? You love Maggie, you don't feel, you felt a little bit threatened at first, okay? But you feel better now, okay? But there may still be some underlying insecurity there. Often the firstborn can feel pushed out as the siblings start to come, and that's because they feel they're competing with the attention that young children often receive from adults. Young children tend to be, cuter and more vulnerable, and so adults tend to give a lot of their attention to the younger children, which can make the older children feel neglected or insecure. But I am certain that your parents love you very much, and that's not changed at all by the fact that you have two younger sisters now, okay? But it can feel that way with the dispersal of attention. Let's not forget that you used to receive all of the attention, okay? Combined with the fact that you were young as well, and vulnerable, and then 2 years later, you're having to compete. And then again, 9 years later, you're having to compete again, okay? But this competition is actually in your head. It just seems that way, but it's not the case. Your parents' attention is just having to be split across 3 children now, okay? Now, Do you have any pets, Bart? You do. You have a dog and a cat. Okay. And do you enjoy the dog and the cat? You don't really get on with the cat, but you love the dog. Okay. And why is that? Do you just not really a cat person? Okay. So, what's your relationship like with the dog? You're very close. Okay. Now, you may find that the bond that you have with this dog is making you feel a connection with someone who gives you all of their attention and time. Particularly if your dog has formed a close bond to you and likes to do things that you like to do, running around and rolling around in the mud and such. You can get this undivided attention that perhaps you sometimes feel is lacking at home due to the fact that the attention is separated across your siblings and your father. So you have this undivided attention from your dog, and it's an unconditional love that has no reflection on your intelligence or whether or not you've been good or bad. And that's a very special thing, isn't it, that we can get from animals, is this unconditional love that has no relation to our achievements or our behaviour. That's a very powerful bond that we can form with animals as a result of that. Okay, I want to address the relationship with your father again, okay? I think your father is frustrated with your behaviour, and at some point he may have actually passed a point of feeling like there is hope with it. Your parents did mention to me that you've had quite a run-in with the police over the years. That's quite a lot for a young boy, isn't it, to be involved with the police as often as that. So your father probably feels like there is no way forward. And of course you are making problems at school as well, which is stressful for your parents to have to go down there. Often parents can feel very self-conscious about their children's behaviour because it can be a reflection on the way that they've raised them, and that can be an embarrassing thing for parents to deal with. So, I actually think there's a lot of hope here, okay? If you start to say to your father, is there any way I can help you? At first he might think that you're being satirical, that you're joking, but when you actually start to help him out, particularly things like washing the car and hoovering out the car, it's going to leave a good impression. It will start to give hope to him that there is a way forward. And also, if you don't get in trouble at school, they'll notice that they haven't had to go to the school. And if you don't get in trouble with the police, they will notice that you haven't had to go to the police station. Okay. And I really feel that the relationship between you and your father will improve immensely. And this will also take stress off of your mother. Okay, but that's the end of our session. But if you would like to come and see me again, that's absolutely fine. Okay, I did say that I would do one session with you just to get an assessment and then have a conversation conversation with your parents. So if you would like to see if those suggestions work, then that could be really good. And if you want to come discuss this again, then we can make arrangements with your parents again. Okay then. Well, it's nice to meet you, Bart. Make sure you behave yourself. Alright, you take care. See you later.